I'll delete it.
Did you fix it? Because we're in production.
I don't know if the button got stuck or something, but it's like it wouldn't stop clapping.
Would you shut off the stream?
I don't know.
Oh my goodness.
Sorry about that.
And you wonder why we call it testing in production.
I must have done something wrong on my. I pressed the button one and it just kept playing and playing and playing. I'm like, normally you hit the button and it stops playing, and this time it wasn't. It was just like over and over and over again.
For those of you who, right as we're getting ready to, like, the music is, yeah, Pierre's a tad quiet because he had a whole bunch of stuff playing. He was. Go ahead and talk, Pierre. Oh, sorry.
I know.
See what I have to work with? Hi, Pierre.
Hey, Jared.
How you doing?
I'm good. How's your Friday?
It was great until we started. And there's our screenshot right there. That was our screenshot. I'll take that. Let's see, what time frame are we at? We're about 1 minute in. I'm done. I don't have to worry about the thumbnail now, so thank you.
It happens. Hey, what's up?
Did you just say the S word and I'm going to have to bleep it?
Oh, yes. Oh.
And thanks for coming out and hanging out, everybody. That was testing in production. We're now canceled.
Hey.
Oh.
I've heard people on Twitch say much worse.
Yes, but they also mark their stream as for adults only. Viewer discretion is advised. Yeah. How you doing, Pierre? It's Friday. It's been a long week, I think, for me. I don't know about you.
It's been a long March 2020.
Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth?
I have to admit, and I talked to my boss about that this week, and I don't know if he's in the. If I don't know if I think he's out on the lake with Joey.
With the hair?
With the hair, the hat and the hair are on the lake.
I didn't think they're allowed to be on the same boat or the same airplane, or I thought that was one of the writers is from the insurance company, especially with the hat.
Well, if something happens, then we inherit the channel full time.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well,
Oh.
Why does Pierre sound like Duke Nukem? Do I sound like Duke Nukem? I used to play that game, so
I guess. He's got his microphone right up there. I've got to rework where my microphone is located.
Do you want me to? Is this better?
No. You're fine. But the sound, the sigh did sound a little bit like the sound effects from Duke Nukem. So Why don't we say a real quick hello to everybody in the chat room? We have with us today Academy Impossible, another random IT guy, Aspen Forrester, A10, Choppering. I hope you're not flying while you're watching. The crush of all of the networks, Dave and Nicole. Hello, Dave and Nicole. Johnny Chips with a Z joining us from the Wales. Is that Sardwin? And
P.S. Darwin?
P.S. Darwin or Sardwin? I don't know which one. We'll find out. And Vizio MVP.
Yes, Mr. Johnny. How you doing?
Just coming in the door after the bell rang was Absoblog and Lootly. So, good morning to everybody, or good afternoon, or good evening.
Yeah, that's the thing with the global audience, where people all over the world is kind of sound like what was that movie with
The Truman Show.
The Truman Show. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon.
Good morning. If I don't see you later, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Yes, Absoblog and Lootly. Yes, you better be sorry. You're gonna have to stay after class and write on the chalkboard. I will not be late ever again. At least 100 times.
Doing good out here at the airport. Oh, Vizio's at the airport. Are you flying somewhere? Is that a thing now? Can we do that?
I got to tell you, I am a bit of an. If you hadn't figured this out, I'm a bit of a nerd, and one of the areas I nerd out about is aviation, and it's
Just one of them?
Oshkosh. Yeah, just one of them. It's Oshkosh this week, which is a big fly-in in Oshkosh, Wisconsin, and they actually have it. They actually are having it this year. Last year it was canceled. This year they're trying to be good, but I've seen a lot of videos of people not wearing masks and not socially distancing and not doing much. I've also seen lots of videos of planes crashing. So,
Oops.
yeah, there's one that kind of now infamously from Blanco Lirio of a guy who came in for a landing and they had their gear down and the gear collapsed up back in the airplane, so he skidded along the runway. Like, oops. David Nicole said they canceled the Miramar show in San Diego. That's too bad. I wonder if Seafair is going to have their show in the next coming weeks, because that's...
Oh, that's right. It's Seafair in first week of August, I think.
Yeah, first and
Seattle?
second week, I think. I can't remember exactly. And they've last year they had it, but it was a it was something that Buckeye guy Jay Flo and I used to do. We'd go out and shoot a lot of pictures of the Blue Angels flying over.
Yeah, I remember, because the last, well, maybe not the last year, but the years before, because I remember, for those who are not familiar with the Microsoft vernacular, we used to have a little internal conference called Tech Ready.
Right.
And I used to go there since Tech Ready 1.
Ah.
Yeah, so twice a year. Well, the conference was twice a year. We used to go once a year, and I always used it to go in the summer, the summer session. So which was always or almost always at the same time as Seafair. So I'd get there the weekend before, taking the parade, and then I remember you and Buckeye J-Flo posting all these pictures from. I think last time you were in across the lake in. I forget the name of the town now.
Well, we were in Seward Park.
Okay.
The last time, which is right off where the hydroplane races are, and the center point for the Blue Angels.
Yeah, you were there with P. With Exchange Goddess.
Yes. Yeah. Well, we did that the year before, and that was at a different park to the north. We were at a park the year after to the south. It was just J-Flo and me. And then the next day we went out and shot at the airport as they were taking off and landing. So they do a whole ritual. I mean, if you've never seen any of the kind of the flying demonstration teams from almost any country, Blue Angels, Thunderbirds, the Red Arrows from Canada.
They're called the Snowbirds?
Oh, Snowbirds. Red Arrows are Britain, I believe.
I think so.
Yep. They not only do the precision flying in the air, but they also take off and land and operate in a very precise manner too. So, yes, you're getting some love for your T-shirt. The old
old school.
Yep. Yep. Red Arrows, Britain. Thank you, Vizio MVP. Yep. So the Snowbirds, any of those representative demonstration teams, they do everything not just in the air but on the ground. So like when the pilots and the crew walk out to the planes, they walk in a synchronized order. They fire up all the engines at the same time. They're leading out the planes almost. You can totally tell the tempo. And in the case of the Blue Angels, the Diamond takes off together, and then the number 4 plane slots in on takeoff. And they fly the Diamond literally to landing. And then the two solos take off together. Dave and Nicole, Crush Networks, I'm still on Long Island. I'm still here till Labor Day. So Labor Day is when I make my return trip back to the West Coast. So as a matter of fact, I'm actually, as soon as we're done today with testing and production, I'm driving. I gotta go pick up my mother, and we gotta drive up to Connecticut. So I got a little drive ahead of me today.
That's not a long drive though.
With traffic, it's horrible. You got to remember traffic, man. Friday afternoon in New York.
What? You don't have an helipad?
No, I don't have a helipad. No.
Oh well, I thought all New Yorkers had an helipad.
God, no.
Just go to the Port Authority. There's one right there. You can rent one.
I'm out on the island, dude. It's at least an hour and a half drive to the first bridge, which I have to take. So, but
you know.
well,
Hey, should we start with the content that we
I know. Hey, look,
discussed?
we have production meeting. This is so strange to do this podcast with you because we do a production meeting every Tuesday before we do this.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with being prepared.
No, there's not, unless your names are Patch or Switch. Then preparedness is making sure I have backups.
Preparedness means my coffee's full.
Exactly, or I have enough water for the whole time.
Yeah, so we, at the production meeting, started to talk about content because we're doing this every week, every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I know for AZ Update, it's a little different because we scour the news that are relevant to the IT and Ops audience in terms of Azure.
Right.
So we have like content, basically the format is set and the content is provided by the product groups.
Exactly.
But for other shows like us every 2 weeks, like if you look at Hello World, that was every day.
Yeah.
I know how hard it is to find fresh content so you're not repeating yourself every other day or every week. So content is key.
It is.
And we wanted to start a discussion with you, the audience and everybody in the chat, as to what's important for content and basically how do you stay fresh? Because I know Johnny does. He's got his own podcast. Some people have other endeavors of that sort. But sometimes it's even just how you're recording sessions and demos and meetups that you're presenting at. I know a guy that's basically had 2 presentations, and he would run them for a year, and he would basically do the round of every conference that he would be accepted at, but do the exact same session at every conference.
Right.
What's the thought here?
Well, and that's something I brought up with you because we were talking about it because it was something that came up specifically. I was listening. I am a patron, and we need. By the way, I found this. So, real quick, step back. If you're not following our YouTube channel, you should be, because we just published out several of our episodes. I've been catching up. That's been one of the nice things about lately, having some time and not wanting to be at home. I have caught up on a lot of our back episodes, getting them onto YouTube.
Yes.
And it's, so take a look. But one of the things that really caught my eye was one of the episodes we talked about, and we need to do this. We need to talk about what we listen to. What podcasts do we listen to? What shows do we watch? As far as content in our community, not specifically, hey, yeah, okay, I watch these TV shows. No. I'm talking about what content do we watch from the community kind of thing. And I was watching Daily Tech News Show, and I'm a patron of Daily Tech News Show. So they actually had a meeting recently, and they're a daily news show. They're scouring the tech news,
Yep.
Primarily on the consumer side, not the enterprise side. But the one of the key things that they are doing is the last week in August, they're taking a vacation, but they didn't want their feeds to be stale. And so what they're doing is they're going to try some new things that last week. It's not going to be the normal daily content, but we'll get something special, something new that they want to try. And they're able to pre-record these So they're going to take that week off. All the people that work on that podcast, there's about 8, 9, 10 of them that are part of that podcast on a daily basis, and they're going to take the days off to recoup, recover, because we all need that. And I work as director of IT of a medical practice, and my HR department, I fought with them to try and force the vacation to be use it or lose it, but they wouldn't do that. And I had lots of...
Well, in some places it's illegal.
Some places it is illegal, but here in the U.S. it's not. And what they did instead is once it got to like 400 hours of your vacation was built up, they paid you off back to 100 hours. Well, everybody didn't take vacation so they could get the extra money.
Yeah.
And I had a ton of burnt out people at times because no one was taking any time off. That's one thing I actually love about our employer currently, Microsoft. We have to use it or lose it, and I'm going to be taking 3 weeks off.
You lose some of it. You can transfer some.
You can carry over some, but it forces you to really take the time off and relax. Like
the problem I've had, because right now I've had that very discussion with my boss. Is he? Let me check. Is he online? Is he listening?
He is not. He's not in the chat room, but he could be watching. He's definitely hosting us right now.
Yeah. Actually, no. Rick is great, but he's been trying to force me to take some time off because since last March, I really haven't taken it. I took a couple weeks at Christmas.
Yeah.
But other than that, he has spies. Yes, I know Visio MVP. He's got spies everywhere. He's like our old boss, John Oxley. Doesn't matter which conference you were or what. Bless you. Doesn't matter where you were. John had somebody in the room that he knew that was going to report back to him as to how you did and what you did. But yeah. He's Rick has asked me to make a plan to use my vacation because I haven't taken any really since last not last Christmas, the Christmas before. And so I've got over 35 days to take between now and Christmas.
Of course, yeah. A lot of folks are that way in a lot of different companies, but we need to especially take that time. For example, I'm in a lucky situation. I was just talking with Pierre during the pre-show. I worked technically for Microsoft and for GitHub. And GitHub right now has given every one of its employees Fridays off in the months of July and August. The hope, I think, at the time was that we would be more open up and you could take vacations and get out and do stuff. But unfortunately, due to things going on, it's not as open as we would like it. But, for example, I have today off. Pierre was saying, yeah, I hit you up on Teams. I'm like, my work computers are not on. My work phone is shut off.
On that note, I will chastise you because your team status says away, not out of the office.
I don't control Teams. I have the day blocked. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you don't have your out of office replies on, right?
It should have been automatically set at midnight.
Oh, well. Anyway.
So.
Aspen Forrester says his company, you accumulate up to 480 hours and then you stop accumulating, but you can basically take out of that for like time for fitness. So if you want a new golf club, you buy the new golf clubs, you bring it in, you show the receipt, and they take it off your vacation allowance. That's kind of a great idea. That's
actually nice. I mean, we're lucky in that we have some allowance for fitness, if you will, and some. I don't want to say fitness. You can use it for a lot of different things. For example, I'm a part of the photography club here at Microsoft, and you can actually use the wellness to buy photography lenses because there is an assumption if you're doing photography, maybe you're out hiking and such. Dave, yes, the Stay Fit allowance. There you go. It's $1,200, not $3,000.
And it depends, on because I'm in Canada, so in Canada it's not even $1,200. Right. I think it's $600.
Right. Depends on the country. And yes, Dave, I am out to lunch even when I'm online. So, but why I bring up about talking about taking time off is when you're a content creator, that can be difficult. Be it if you're a streamer or a YouTuber where you're posting videos, or if you're doing webinars, you need to have content in a lot of ways for your you need to provide content for your audience, otherwise they may go away.
Well, no, you and I have had that conversation, and Anthony Bartolo, so at Wireless Life, which he's actually taken the week off. He's camping with his kids.
Good.
So he's not online today, and if he is,
we're gonna hurt him. We need to get you recentered. You're like a left of center all the time now.
Oh, it's just I have to because I move my depending on what I'm recording, because sometimes I record and I have, so I'll put myself on this side, and then over here I have like my slide, like Jimmy Fallon or Seth Meyers with the the picture in picture.
Yeah.
And so sometimes I forget to reset the camera, so I have to move my chair.
You need to put marks on the floor. You need to put marks.
I normally do. I have yellow tape on the floor, but especially when I raise the desk and I have to stand, and if I have the green screen, I have a yellow X on the floor where to stand. But it's funny how I'm still sitting in the same chair, but because I'm now at 4 inches to my left, it feels really odd.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. By the way, you're lucky I don't have a whistle. You're lucky. I was going to call you offsides.
Mark on the floor, coffee stains? No.
No. Bourbon stains.
I am a...
yes. I have
always
my lovely Bellevue Brewing. Yep.
Remember those?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
I used to have a stack of them. The last... wait a minute. I'll wait for the camera to... Oh, there we go.
There we are. Yep.
The crew. The last party we had from the crew, and they had all these there. I kind of went around at the end of the evening and picked up a stack. Because they're cardboard, so they do get wet and eventually degrade.
But we don't have CDs anymore. I don't have all the improperly burned CDs that didn't burn that failed on burn, or There was a long time that was my coasters at my house.
Yeah, flat hockey pucks, Vizio MVPs. No, my hockey puck. Actually, we started our hockey league again today. The city has reopened the rinks. Not today, this week on Wednesday night.
We're being so random today.
I know.
And you know what? But hold on. That's not a bad thing. I'm just going to say it's not a bad thing. We've been, because one of the things that I thought of through this whole thing about content was we definitely need your help in what you want us to talk about in what we do, and maybe we move on to Azure subjects or whatever. But this whole conversation is a conversation between myself and Pierre, and you all are invited to join in and help us out here. And one of the best parts, I think, about this is the fact I just edited, by the way, the July 2nd video where you were on vacation at home and I was on the road in Montana. Oh, yeah. It was kind of fun.
Yeah, my afternoon is going to be editing videos as well for content that I'm creating. So, which brings us back to topic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, bright light.
Squirrel.
Consistency in content is key, especially if you're like a blog, a podcast, any kind of content creation, because your audience, you want to develop what I call like muscle memory to say, like, for and this is all from yesterday. Anthony and I have been doing this for years, like almost a decade now. When we started CanITPro.net. And CanITPro.net was two guys, and we would struggle to publish 3 articles every week. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Because we know Friday people are getting ready to go on on the weekend, and on Monday people are coming back to an inbox full of alerts and so on. So they have less time to do this. So we had 3. So 1 week I had Monday. I had to write on Monday and write on Wednesday. So I publish on Tuesday and Thursday. And the next week I only had to write on Tuesday to publish on Wednesday. So it was 2 articles, 1 articles, 2 articles, 1 articles. And you really have to build that muscle and that discipline to be able to every week look at it, and it really kind of digs into your imposter syndrome, because you can't write an article, look at it, read it, go, I'm not sure, and then like modify. You can't take 3 days to fine tune your content. You just write it, publish it. Somebody says, hey, you made a mistake here. Thank you very much for pointing it out. You edit it and you republish it, but you can't chase perfection when you're doing something that at that scale or at that pace. Now with the IT Ops Talk, we have a little bit more leeway, because there's Sonia and Oren and Thomas and Sarah and Anthony and myself and sometimes Rick. So there's at least 7 of us, and now we're starting to get a submission from the community, and I'm sure maybe we'll get Anthony on a show in the near future to talk about community engagement, but also community content submission. How do we work with it? What's a good idea? What's not a good idea? What are the pros and cons of doing that? Visio MVP, publishing without perfection gives you future content, because you could always go back and redo it. But it's that consistency that brings the audience to say, hey, oh, that's right, it's Wednesday, there's an article, or it's Friday. It used to be, it's Friday, oh, is it the right Friday? Patch and switch, is it on? Is it this week or is it next week? But now we're every week, because we alternate with them. So for everybody in the chat, whether or not they're following us or following them, or both, you know that every Friday at lunch, I can go and grab a coffee, grab some lunch. Well, for me in the Eastern time zone, of course. For you, when you're in Seattle, you just bring
coffee and a breakfast sandwich.
And
for Johnny Chips and those in the UK, the Europe time zone, grab a beer or Scotch 30.
You got an hour of
exactly.
Messed up content coming at you.
Wow.
But it's consistent, so you kind of look forward to it, even though, anyway. Yeah. It's just my thought. So I don't know what this chat room has in terms of thoughts on that.
Let's ask that to the chat room right now, and I know it'll take the delay, but what sort of consistency do you like to see in content, and what sort of consistency do you put out in your content? Johnny Chips, I know every Friday you've got your kind of weekly update, then you have your in conversation now every Friday night, and it's awesome. I like that. I like having that. I like having AZ update every Friday at 7 when I'm on the West Coast. That's what I was laughing some of the old episodes, but I do wake up
next week, by the way. We're back next week.
Yay! Back next week at 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific, 1400 UTC.
Yep.
Calculated all in the head.
Or do you have a sticky note on the side of your monitor?
Dave, he puts out consistent content on the virtual water cooler, each season's new theme. 100 episodes in, doing 2 a week now. That is exhausting.
Wow, 2 a week.
Yeah.
Eesh.
Yeah. I'm trying. Yeah, a lot of Johnny is bringing up that he watches a lot of content that is on a regular cadence, fits in a schedule with work. I realize I am a huge consumer of podcasts, audio podcasts, and
So am I, but you'd be surprised to know that most of the podcasts that I listen during the week while I work have nothing to do with IT.
I'm about half and half on that.
Because for me, a lot of them are, it's almost like a background noise
Mm-hmm.
because it kind of helps with my ADHD. Where if I'm in the room that's completely silent, my mind starts to wander,
Oh yeah.
and then it's like squirrel. And things have happened. So I watch or I listen to podcasts like the Armchair Experts with Dak Shepard, Smartless with forget their names, as 3 idiots that are. I'm having a blank.
See, the funny part is all the content that I listen or and watch that is non-technical related is all on YouTube.
Oh, for me, it's all on Spotify because I can just put it in the background and it just plays.
I personally use Pocket Casts on my phone and computer to listen to podcasts, and most of them are technical by nature in a lot of ways. Like I said, Daily Tech News Show. I listen to First Ring Daily just because Paul and Brad are idiots. I love that.
Well, the reason mine are not technical because if I'm playing them as kind of like a background noise, so I'm kind of listening, but I'm not. I don't feel bad if I miss 3 minutes of the conversation. If it's work related, if it's IT related and ops, then I want to pay attention. So those I do still listen to, but I actually block off time where I'll listen to it, take notes, and kind of like, oh yeah, I want to look into this, or I don't know about that. I'm going to drill that and into that a little bit further. Smartless is Jason Bateman, Sean Hayes, and Will Arnett, and they're every week one of the three invites a guest that the other two don't know anything about.
Nice. Dave from Crush Network says I should add though he's that virtual water cooler. He's filming like 15 to 60 minutes of content, but only post 2 minutes on LinkedIn. Most people aren't going to watch past that these days. Too much digital content and screen time out there. Totally get that. And then he also mentions that he listens to Mixcloud, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, and Spreaker. And Absolblogginlutely also mentions that he's a Pocket Cast fan, and he's running the same problem. He used to listen to most of his in the car on the commute. Without having the commute, that's where a lot of my podcasting went. So I've had to change my habits. Yeah.
If I had like a 12-hour flight to Sao Paulo, for example, well, there you go. That's 4 or 5 hours of sleep, and the rest is because I've seen all the movies on the plane.
Gotcha.
Is listening to podcasts.
Yeah, no, I totally get that, and it makes it difficult to really kind of do that sort of thing. I mean,
Yep. And I think I'm taking notes here because last week we forgot to take notes about future content.
We probably did.
Long form, because a couple of people have already mentioned that. So long form videos versus short vids. We need to have a discussion with somebody that creates both. And
oh yeah. Well, we have April Dunham we could talk to. She just recently was tweeting about how she's part of the Cloud Advocate team, right, in the Power platform. And she's doing these 1-minute quick videos on YouTube. And she just changed all of her equipment. And I'd love to find out what she has set up, because what she's trying to do with that.
I'd love to see if Scott Anselman would come on, because he does both the long form and he's got a channel on TikTok where TikTok is like the ultra short bites.
Yep.
and see what is maybe. I'm not sure if we can get Scott Enselman, but we can surely get somebody else that has a platform that is like short form and long form.
Oh, that'd be wonderful. I just put a poll in the chat. It should be at the top, and it says, "What speed do you listen to podcasts at?" I've already voted. I listen to them, by the way, at 1.5 times. I don't know. Do you listen to them at a higher speed?
Yeah, about 1.25 but
Roughly.
sometimes I'll stop, set it back to 1, or sometimes I'll set it back to 0.5. So if I'm really listening, if I'm taking notes, because
I screwed it up. Hold on.
he's gonna have to redo.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to redo it. Hold on. Gotta do the same poll. Because
I cannot get someone with the red shirt. I'm not sure Scott Guthrie is gonna have time to come to our podcast.
I don't think so either. Yeah. Hold on a second.
Oh, that's a little too fast for me.
I'm gonna actually. I missed because I just thought about that after you said that. Because there's gonna be a lot of folks. I didn't even think about slower speeds.
Mr. TJ is here.
Mr. TJ 11 or 12?
12. Mr. TJ 11 is as closed his account.
Oh, he has now, huh?
Yeah, well, that's what he tells me. I don't know. I don't know if he's actually just stopped using it, but
yeah, I think that was just more making fun for one day.
I know it created a few questions though.
Oh, it did. It did.
Who the hell is Mr. TJ11? Oh,
yeah.
Just
yeah.
first, just here lurking. All right, so let's get back to our topics. So consistency. Now we have to think about, all right, if I'm not going to be there, I'm going to have a record recorded. So what about when you're doing presentation to your own company, presentations to a meetup, presentations to a major conference
or user group
night, or a user group? Well, that's a meetup / user groups. What's the thought? I'm actually now a big fan of pre-recording my demos.
Why is that?
A couple things. And that started when the first MITT, so Microsoft Ignite the tour, where we were going to places where the internet was absolutely crappy. And when you're doing a demo in the cloud, if the internet throws up halfway through your session, then all your demos are done. So we decided, well, let's have video backups of our demos. So if they fail, we switch to video, which was okay. Then 1 year, a couple of years ago, I think 2019, I did a 75-minute long session at Ignite on Azure Migrate.
Interesting.
The demo was recorded. The demo is 28 hours.
Oh, wow.
Because you have to prepare your infrastructure, run your analysis, and then start replicating virtual machines to the cloud so that you can then fail them over, do your testing. The whole process it took me 28 hours because I was replicating machines from my home office on an Hyper-V server here to the cloud. And I have a symmetric gigabit connection, so I can't blame residential DSL for the speed.
Right.
It's just the amount of data. It's taking time. So what am I going to do for a demo? I'm not going to keep people and say, okay, let's start the demo and I'll see you tomorrow. That doesn't work. So we started editing videos for time and time compression. So I have a bit of a show and tell if you want to see that.
Let's do it. Let's jump over to the show and tell screen. Ta-da!
So normally you would do normally you would do your demos and you would start, and this is I just made that. I'm just doing that now. Where say I want to create a resource group, I go in, and I'm a terrible typist as you can see, and you make mistakes and you backspace. And you write it again, and then you make a typo and you hit enter and it fails, and you come back and you fix your typo. You get all of that done, and once you've finally got it, you say, okay, create, and it runs through the creation. Now, that took a while. It's painful to watch. When things happen, it breaks your flow, because if you have an error that comes up, then you have to now stop thinking about what's coming next and what's the point you want to make and what's the information that you want to pass on to the, because demos for me are not about step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. It's more about, we're doing this step because this is what it's going to lead to. This setting here is important because of this, and it's going to affect something later on. So I'd like to talk to my demo about everything around it, not just the demo part, which is important, but it's a little bit more minor for me. That's my approach to it, and other people have different approaches to it, and that's great. Diversity is fantastic. But now, this took a long time. But what if we looked at this and decided to do it a different way? So I'm gonna rewind my demo. And now,
nice graphics, by the way.
Yeah, did you like that? But now I've actually typed my name, hit create, and it's done. There was no typos. There was no waiting for stuff to actually get validated. And did you notice it?
Nope, I didn't. Did anyone else?
Like, what's the feeling in the chat? The way I do it though is I edit. So I'll take the first, when I'm writing like the resource group name, I'll take like the DE, and then I'll cut after the E, go to -01, and I'll cut just before -01, and I ripple delete that from using any editor, so that your eye sees DE being typed, and then it jumps to -01, and your brain kind of puts those two together, and to your brain it looks like you've typed it, but you've typed it real fast.
Yeah.
And then right after that I do a cut, and then I go further in, and then I cut, and then I say, okay, that section, compress it to 3 seconds. So if you have like a spinning donut or a time where you have to wait, it compresses it. So you take a demo that would take 40 minutes, and sometimes you can like compress it to 10 to 15. So it gives you time in that 75-minute session or an hour session to be able to actually show a lot more, because you don't have to wait for stuff to finish.
Got it.
And you can guarantee they always work. It gives you time to talk about what's important, or the technology behind it, or why this setting is set to this versus set to that. Because a lot of times people will say, okay, you set this to this, and you set that to this, and you check this box, and then you click next, and then you go to the next, or you use this command, but they don't actually go into why this checkbox is important. What's the difference between checked and unchecked? What is this setting doing? Why is it going to be important in 3 steps? By having it recorded, you don't have to worry about the typing part. You're just talking to the video and giving valuable information as to what the demo is actually doing and what's happening in the background. That's just my thoughts.
No, that's very cool. I really like the idea of recording these demos and recording, especially now that I'm in the group that I'm in One Engineering Systems, because we have a lot of build systems. Watching a build run is dull, and you can speed that up. A build may take 20 minutes. Well, you can speed it up to take 30 seconds, and you can see the output, and then everyone thinks, wow, your build system's fast.
But it's the video versus live. A lot of people have some really strong feelings about, no, if I'm paying to be in the room to watch an expert, I want that video, I want that demo to be live.
Right.
And that's okay. I'm a big fan of having the demos recorded. Sometimes I'll do it. I'll split it. So I'll have some demos that are recorded because they take a little longer, and then in between I'll have smaller demos that I know I can do live. Or sometimes I take a tangents, and I'm notorious for going off script because somebody in the crowd
what?
Said, what? Off script?
You go off script? What?
Isn't that the whole meaning behind this show, is to go off script?
Oh, we have a script? Wait,
we have a script? Or somebody in the crowd will say, well, what about this? And I go, that's a good point. And then I'll just jump to an actual browser where my stuff is actually preloaded and say, well, because of this, and I'll ad hoc a demo right there.
Yeah.
That's very dangerous because you never know what the results might be. But my view is, if you're upfront with the audience, because I always tell them, so today the demos are recorded.
Yeah.
And I record them for two reasons. Number one, the internet where we are, we never know where it's going to be, blah, 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 blah. They take a long time. And number two, I can guarantee you they'll work.
Yeah. Exactly.
But I'm upfront.
Yeah.
I don't try to do smoke and mirrors and pass it on as a
live demo.
A live demo, which I know some people who have done that in the past.
Yeah, it's burned their credibility. Johnny Chips with a Z has said, "Hey, I think you have sold me on the recorded demo. It's knowing when it's useful. That's put it in your repertoire as I have this in my pocket. I have this recorded demo. I can do it this way." Dave,
we could go back to the two shot now. That I'm done with the show and tell.
Okay, done with the show and tell. Ta-da! Back to the two shot. And Dave says, agree about the live demo sentiment. If you're in person at a paid event, you want to see the live demos. It's like having screenshots in a PPT in a PowerPoint just in case the demo gods. It's always good to have the recordings with you. One thing, there's a presenter in the SharePoint community that both Dave from Crush Networks and I know, Mr. Todd Clint. He actually was presenting on a cruise. It was a SharePoint cruise. He's like, how am I going to do my demos when there's no internet? And this is back a while ago, before cruise ships got prevalent internet. Even today, though, I think having those demos recorded is not a bad thing if you're just having one of those days where Murphy's just being an absolute kind of... And... You know, none of the demos are working. You can at least fall back to a video and show it working.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I like the videos. And sometimes too is if you know you're going to give that same presentation multiple days in a close, like MITT. We'd be in Milan from Monday to Wednesday, then we'd fly, and then the next Monday we'd be doing it in South Africa, and then we'd.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, resetting the environment to go back to vanilla is either near impossible, because once you've migrated it, like it's almost near impossible, or it's very, very time consuming, and lots of effort needs to be done. So you may not have time to reset the environment in between.
Yep. And that's where having the recorded sessions helps out. What I tend to, for example, people from my organization, when they're giving presentations, my gentle, how do I say, expertise that I give them is record your sessions. If you want to show it live, great. If it fails or something's going wrong, you can at least go back to the video and you can talk to it and show it off. But have it recorded. But if you want to do it live, go for it. Just make sure you've done all the proper prayers and sacrifices to the demo gods to make sure they are all sastified, make sure the internet gods are happy if you're having to go across the internet.
Yeah, but those internet gods are fickle.
Oh, they are. They very much are.
They can turn you on a dime.
Mm-hmm.
Especially the DNS god.
It's always DNS.
It's always DNS.
It's always DNS.
Yeah. Crush Network says once did a demo over a satellite data connection. It's like doing it on a 56K modem.
Wow. Yeah. I've I have a friend who is a tugboat captain, but it is an ocean-going tug where he hauls barges from Seattle to Alaska.
Yep.
And when they're out at sea, they're on a burst satellite. And I'm like, so how much... They have a specific text messaging system that his company uses instead of email when they're out at sea, because it's smaller packet sizes of information because it's expensive to send a packet.
Oh, yeah. So Johnny Chips asks, so when I'm recording a screen demo, do I record by clicking and typing and then edit that and then do the voiceover? Typically, I will do my whole demo by clicking and typing, and I'm not recording anything. I'm not keeping track. I'm not mentioning what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. It's basically a blank audio audio track. I will re-record or narrate it if case I'm passing that demo to a coworker. Mm-hmm. But when I'm delivering it, I actually strip out the audio. I am never using a recorded narration. So if I'm on stage, why would I just click the button and turn around and look at the screen? I'm already there and I know the content. Yeah.
No Foley, like like a typewriter as the typing is going on the screen.
Yeah, and I don't pretend to type while my demo's going.
Dave also brings up most people using Camtasia I know do the full recording with no audio, then edit the video, then lay down the voice track after that, and then publish. That's if they're publishing online. That's great. That's a really good idea.
If you're publishing online, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. Totally.
The only thing is I find that some people will record their intro or their where it's a talking head with a certain microphone, and then when they get to their desktop to do the voiceover, either they use a different microphone or the settings are not exactly the same, so you get like a significant difference in volume and tone, and or your audio track is obviously not recorded at the same time. So if I'm doing a podcast or something for YouTube, I'll actually get it ready and using OBS switch to my monitor, so I can just hit the button and switch directly to it. And as I'm talking and I'm recording my intro, I'll switch to it, and then I will record the voiceover as I'm doing it, if I'm doing it live in a room at Ignite, so that my voice or my audio track is the same tone, the same levels, consistent across the whole thing.
Yeah. It's interesting you bring that up. One of the people I do follow on aviation stuff on name's Juan Brown. He's a Boeing 777 pilot for one of the big three airlines, but he also does a whole bunch of videos under the channel name Blanco Lirio. Okay. And he talks a lot about when he talks a lot about aviation incidents, and so he gets demonetized by YouTube all the time, even though they're running ads on this thinking channel. He doesn't get any money from those, so he's got a Patreon that I support. But one of the things, he'll go outside and on his back deck and shoot a kind of an intro and kind of a talking head type shot, and then he goes in to show maybe the flight track from Flight Tracker or something like that, or show maybe some information about that airport, because he's got the digital flight books as a part of his job. and he's recorded that in his house on a different setup, and you could totally tell the difference between when he's inside and when he's outside.
And the content is still good.
Yeah.
But just that difference in sound makes it sound like it could be the most qualified and exact, like technically sound explanation of whatever it is. It sounds amateurish, and then it loses credibility.
Yep. It's pretty amazing. Yep. And Dave knows who I'm talking about. And he started his flying career as a teenager, and bought his first airplane when he was 15 years old, and has bought and sold dozens of airplanes since. Yeah, he's got a Luscombe, and now he's got this beautiful God, what is it? I can't remember the type. It's like a Piper Cub, but it's a newer design. It just a couple of incredible aircraft, and his knowledge, because of his years in the industry, is amazing.
Yeah. Crush Network is just mentioned that he thinks that most people that listen to content wouldn't pick up on the differences in tone and volumes. So if anybody in the chat room is not a content creator, just listens to a whole bunch of podcasts, do you notice, and do you mind, or do you care, or is it just us because we do it all the time?
Yeah, that's a great point. I didn't catch that one.
Yeah, no, that's a good observation.
Because we are content creators. We know we're trying to make the best product out there, and we notice when other people. Visio MVP says he notices. I definitely notice. When I talk with people about podcasts, the first thing I recommend, if they're trying to make one, first thing I recommend is get your audio squared away, because most people listen to podcasts, they don't watch them. Johnny Chips.
Johnny
also
says, I do notice, but it doesn't really concern myself, a content creator.
Johnny, you are a creator.
Come on.
You're a creator.
Come on. I don't really do editing.
Hey, I don't edit much either.
Well, we now shortened the countdown at the beginning, and we can talk about this in a second, because it's a pretty funny story, and I did feel really bad about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And well, let's go ahead and tell the story. So we're publishing out our past episodes, and I'm like, hey Pierre, I've got, all these episodes are up. Please verify and go through everything, and make sure all of our tags and all of the bookmarks and all of the links are proper. Because like in one case, this was one of your software that you used, and I'm like, I don't even know where to find this.
Oh, that was Lua Macro.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I'm like, can you put? Oh yeah, I got it.
And it's not even something you can download and install. It's a GitHub project.
Wow. Anyway, as we're going through and we're having our production meeting, go ahead and now explain from your side.
So I say, oh yes, that's good. Say I've gone through this one and I published these. Then yeah, it's fine. Okay. I did notice something that going forward I think we should be doing. And he's like, what is it? I said, you realize that sometimes the recorded YouTube has like that 5-minute countdown intro at the beginning. We don't really need that, because people who see this in the YouTube feed are going to get there, and after 2 minutes of watching the countdown, they're just going to say, oh,
I'm going to have to fix that.
Yes,
I'm going to have to fix that.
I'm sorry. They're going to have to fudge that. They're going to move on to more content. No, yeah. But so, and Jared was not too happy with me because he had to go back and re-edit all. He wanted to go back and re-edit all the document.
So here's I want to be clear, and I'm going to say this in front of the audience and everybody. I wasn't unhappy with you. I was unhappy with myself, because it totally made sense. And why the heck did I do that?
I know, but I was just piling on to your already busy week, so.
And we agreed. Okay, prior episodes we're not going to go back and fix, but from then on, and I've gone. And speaking of which, we'll jump back over. We actually have episodes up, more than one. up on
Do we have any viewers?
I don't know, but yes, we've got more than one episode up. So yeah, if you want to go back, they're even time indexed, so that you can find if you're looking for something specifically. We actually have those. Johnny Chips is subscribed. Hey, click that subscribe, click the bell, hit the thumbs up, do all those things. You have I don't have that. I should have had that as one of the pop-ups on here.
I've got it as a green screen overlays. I can send it to you. You can just add it on the top of the when you do the edit.
There we go. There we go. Anyway.
Oh yeah, it's very important.
Oh God,
actually, yes. During our, what was it called? Spark.
Oh yes.
Which is the internal community-driven technical conference that we had internally at Microsoft 2 weeks ago. There was one session that Rick, and he talked about it at the last Patch and Switch, on basically is, so you want to be a presenter? Because a lot of people internally want to present at Spark, they want to present at Ready, they want to present at Inspire, they want to present at Ignite or Build, but some of them really, they don't know where to start. So we had a session on getting ready, and we had a section on doing it virtual because now it's an important part of our job, and another one on doing it in person.
Yep.
And I was in the channel and I was answering questions, and somebody asked about, hey, I love your camera, your lighting, like stuff like that. Do you have any tips? And I basically said, as a matter of fact, we now have a YouTube channel though, where we talk about stuff like that. And I sent them over, and he was very happy about it. So I'm thinking now we can write that off, Jared, because it's been used for work.
Yes, exactly. We currently have 10 people on the channel. As I was just trying to pull up the dashboard. I think we have 10 subscribers. So
yeah, we need a few more subscribers so we can have a pretty URL.
We have 11 subscribers. Somebody just subscribed. Thank you.
Woohoo!
Push that bell. Click the bell.
Well, why do they say these days, the kids, like, smash that bell or smash that subscribe button?
Yep, exactly. Smash that subscribe. Click the bell.
Yeah,
or ring the bell.
Click it. You don't have to smash it.
Yep.
Keyboards are expensive.
Yep, exactly.
Or good ones anyway.
So. But yeah, we're actually working through getting out. We're up to, I believe, the 5th episode out of, this is number 11. So we're halfway to the ones that we've done. You need 100 subs. Oh, good grief. Hey, you know what? I've got a domain name I can just point to and set up a redirect. So there we go.
Or for $5, we could buy a bot.
Oh, no. That's not you should never do that.
I'm just kidding.
You should never do that. Do I have some money here? Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, it's funny because our team, right now we're in OKR discussions.
Right.
For those who don't work at Microsoft, OKRs are objectives and key results. So you make an objectives. I'm going to reach a gazillion people this year. So that the objective has to be aspirational. You can't lowball your objective. You can't say, I'm going to make 5 videos this year. Because you know you're going to reach it. It has to be aspirational. And the KR is a key result. So
You resubscribed earlier.
Yeah, that was did you just turn on Stream Elements?
No, the Stream Elements that was backed up, and I flushed the queue.
Anyway, so what was I saying again?
OKRs.
Oh yeah.
Squirrel.
Squirrel. Yeah, exactly. That's the best example of why I need something to keep my mind focused. We went from MAU, which is monthly active users, to measure, and then somebody I'm not going to say who because it's not in our team directly, it's somebody else in developer relations, is like, okay, so we're going to start looking at engagement. And so I was like, okay, great. How do we measure engagement? And they go, well, we can measure engagement by likes and views.
Oh God.
I said, are you serious? She goes, yeah.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. We should get that synchronized eye. Like,
Okay. Yeah.
New thumbnail.
Okay, Rick. Okay, Rick. Yeah. No, that's not for okay, Rick. Measuring engagement is a very difficult thing.
Yes, it is.
Because it's so easy to make a macro and hit the F5 button on your article, and it just every time you hit the F5, it just the view counters keeps going up, going up.
Exactly.
And of course, there's other metrics that you can look at in terms of, yes, views from which IP. Is it unique? Is it so and so on? Which is why we thought that monthly active user was a good, not a great measurement, but it was a good measurement because it kind of measures whether or not from one month to another you've actually increased your audience and are more people engaged with the content that you put out there. Yep. But anyway.
Dave at Crush Network said engagement to me equals comments and shares versus likes and views. Totally. I think that is real engagement for sure in my mind.
Yeah. But a lot of people, and I mean a lot, like this group is different because we're at the point where we're at is we're almost like a whole bunch of friends that kind of meet up on Friday to chat. But if you go online, and we've seen that at Ignite with roundtables and so on, there's a lot of people that are introverts and they don't want to chat. They don't want to engage in terms of putting in a comment. They will, if they like it, they may hit the like button, but they're very rarely. And sometimes there's content that I love. And sometimes I watch it and I go, oh, that was great. And then my squirrel brain kind of goes on to something else and I don't hit the like button.
Yep. Oh.
So you can't just use that. You have to use like a combination of MAU plus comment plus reshares plus retweets and plus external links to it. And like, it's so hard to accurately measure engagement.
It is.
But
it really is.
If you have tips, I'm all in.
And I put that out to the whole of the audience, and so we should definitely hit us up on Twitter at I'm trying to Test in Prodcast. So I'll put the Twitter account here in the chat room. Test in
Prodcast. Hey, sounds like a prostate exam.
I know it's the user account I could get. So shut up. Shut the up. See, I properly know how to use the bleep button.
Yeah, I just forgot.
All right, we're getting towards the end of the hour here. We're already past an hour. I need to probably get on the road before the traffic starts building. Yeah. But I've had I think this has been a great conversation. We definitely understand a little bit more about content and talking about how, one of the keys, just to kind of circle back, is having consistency with your content. I know my blog, I go for a while and then I get burnt out and it's gone. And I haven't blogged in over a year. This would have been a great year to have blogged a lot. But I was also had to fix my mental state because I know I was not in a good mental state.
I am struggling with that right now, which is probably why I haven't written a good article in the last maybe a couple months because my batteries are dead. My batteries are spent, and I'm an extrovert. Unlike a lot of people that I work with that are introverts that basically have to push themselves to get in front of people. I recharge my batteries by being with people.
I am an introvert myself, but lockdown hasn't been good for me, and this has been difficult for me too, as far as being I do like being around my friends. I'm an extrovert with my friends. I'm an extrovert with my community. But man, oh man, when I go to a conference, I love being there. I got to tell you, folks, Dave from Crush Networks is one of my best friends to be around at a conference. You'll know every fun thing that happens at a conference if you hang around with Mr. Dave. At the same time, I need to go back to my hotel room and curl up into a ball and suck my thumb for about an hour.
He's easy to spot. You have to just look for the hat.
But look for the fedora.
The fedora.
Yep, exactly. Can't miss him. He's a well-dressed man. So I really appreciate everybody coming out again every other Friday with us here. Next week, AZ Update. We're back live.
Back.
Woohoo! 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific, 1400 UTC.
Yes.
We have Patch and Switch next Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern, 1600 UTC.
Lunchtime.
Yep, exactly.
My boss always says, "What are you doing listening to Patch and Switch? Aren't you supposed to be working?"
Lunch, dude.
It's lunch.
Lunch. All right.
So let's say goodbyes to who's back in the chat room.
We can say goodbye to folks like Absablog and Lootly, Academy Impossible, Another Random IT Guy, Aspen Forrester, A10, Chopperine. Hey, our favorite bot, Commander Root, is in the house. Good old Dave and Nicole from Crush Networks. I Am Per showed up. Thank you for showing up, sir. We got Johnny Chips with a Z. Mr. Mosby, nice to have you join us. Smallster MRDC server. The Infotech Gamer. And, of course, Mr. Vizio MVP.
As always.
As always. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you in 2 weeks right back here.
Cheers.
Cheers and bye.